All right, today's the day. We're leaving El Salvador. We're driving across Honduras and we're going to Nicaragua. This is gonna be a double border crossing day. I don't think I've ever done this before. Let's go to Nicaragua. We've had a wonderful trip through El Salvador, but now we're getting ready to cross the border into Honduras. All right, we are here at the El Salvador-Honduras border. This is kind of the waiting area where we're waiting to get into the aduana or the customs office to do what we need to do with getting our van checked out of El Salvador and into Honduras. As we came into the border, we were able to go ahead of maybe 100 trucks. And it felt really awkward and weird, but we drove on the wrong side of the road around all the trucks. They just waved us on through and told us to come over here to get our paperwork done to get checked out of El Salvador. Let's see what happens here. All right, we just got our temporary import of our vehicles canceled. Now we have to just get ourselves stamped out at the border itself and our passports, and we're free to go to Honduras. All right, it's a little confusing. They have us driving like the wrong way down one-way streets, and the people who run the border are like signaling us to go the wrong way. But we've got to come over here now through what seems like a little village, which is weird because it's like in the middle of the border. But this is supposedly where they're going to check us out of immigration. The van is already checked out, and we just got to get our passports stamped out. That's the next step. All right, we've made it. We're here at the immigration office. We just have to get one more stamp, and we're in Honduras. All right, we're stamped out. We're headed to Honduras. All right, we are officially crossing the border. Here's the river.
Here's the border.
Here's the border. El Salvador, Honduras. Here we come. All right, there's a little bit of a traffic jam here with the cars parked on the side of the street and the traffic coming the other direction into El Salvador. It's a little backed up. At some point, they're gonna let us go through, and we're gonna go up here to this big blue building. We'll start working on getting our vehicle checked in with a temporary import, and then getting ourselves checked in with the immigration. All right, we are in Honduras. All the fixers are swarming us, wanting to help us with really anything that we would pay them to do. But we're gonna go inside and get everything sorted out. So getting through customs, there's a lot of waiting in lines, and that is exactly what we're doing. Check out all the stickers. It's pretty cool to see the people who have come before us and crossed this border. I see some friends up there, but a lot of other people from all over the world. It's pretty cool. All right, we are officially stamped in to Honduras. Now we just have to get our vehicles imported, the temporary import. That's the next step. Okay, now we're just trying to figure out where the aduana is to check in our vehicle. A little confusing. We're hearing multiple things. And of course, we're getting kind of swarmed by the fixers, and they want to help us for a fee, and we're trying to avoid them. All right, it's kind of chaotic here, but we're figuring it out. They told us to go to the yellow building, and we're going there now. All right, we just spent maybe 2 hours standing here trying to figure out why it would not take my passport number to import our van into Honduras, and it turns out there was too few characters on my passport number, which was a US passport number, but the Honduran system was looking for 2 or 3 more characters, so they just put USA in front of it, and it worked. Fingers crossed that we aren't going to have any problems when we're leaving the country here in about 3 or 4 hours. Hold on. All right, we did it. Took forever. That was probably about a 2-hour ordeal. And it really shouldn't have been that difficult, but it was just the system wasn't taking my passport number correctly. And it was nothing more than just figuring out how to work within the boundaries of their computer system. But we're here. We're in Honduras. And it's gonna be a whirlwind of a trip across the country, but it's gonna be fun. All right, we're here in a little restaurant. It's right on the border. George is getting his paperwork done right now. Fingers crossed, his goes a lot smoother than ours. But this is how it goes. And the funny thing is this was supposed to be the easy border crossing. We still have the Nicaragua one, which everybody says takes forever and is really chaotic and intense. So hopefully they flip-flopped for the day. All right, I got a chicken hamburguesa and we're gonna hit the road. We gotta drive across the country. We've driven about 2.5, 3 hours across Honduras. We're almost to the Nicaragua border. Honduras has been very different than El Salvador. It's very dry. It's been almost 100 degrees or more the whole time. There's a lot of trash. The roads seem like they're okay, but it is a very hot place. And it looks like there's some mountains off here to the side that could be interesting to explore, but we are just gonna truck through to Nicaragua. Now we're almost to the border of Nicaragua, and this is a pretty serious border. I don't think they're gonna allow me to film, so I think I'm gonna have to just fill you guys in either in little segments along the way, or just at the end I'll give you guys a summary of what happened. We're gonna go check it out. We're excited to explore Nicaragua. We hear it's a beautiful, amazing country, and this is the next stop of our Pan-American adventure. We have maybe a mile of semi-trucks here before the border, and it seems really awkward, but everyone's signaling us to go around them. And so we're just kind of snaking through, driving on the wrong side of the road and passing these guys up. Hopefully this works out well for us. We've got this guy with a rickshaw in front of us riding along. He's got a couple of machetes and a passenger. We'll see if we can get around him. This is the adventure. This is a real Central American border crossing right here. This is legit. We had an easy crossing from Guatemala into El Salvador. It was just very, actually enjoyable. And I think this is gonna be one of the real deals. There's lots of little shops here. There's gonna be the fixers, are these usually men that come up. They're very pushy, very aggressive, and they want you to pay them to take you through the process and help you make it go smoothly. These guys sometimes will run off with your passport and then try to extort you for it. They'll charge you for all kinds of crazy stuff. You don't know how much it's going to cost until it's over. So we're just have a policy that we're going to figure this out on our own. We're going to avoid the fixers at all costs. See, here's one running up to me right now. Oh, this guy's wanting to do money.
I think we're gonna go park right
Here we go. We're gonna go in this parking lot here. We'll park there, and that's probably where we go in to the office.
Come on, dude. Get out of the way. There's another hustler coming up ahead, waving at us.
Oh, he's chasing us.
Okay.
After being swarmed by fixers as we pulled in here, we went in, took about a minute to get our passports stamped out, took about another minute for them to stamp out our vehicles. A woman came out here, didn't even look at our VIN, she just saw that we had a vehicle here and said, adios. So we're clear, we are on our way to Nicaragua.
Nicaragua, here we come. Okay, we are driving on the sidewalk around the trucks.
We're driving down the sidewalk. We're about to go head on with a rickshaw. I'm gonna go off the curb now. Thank goodness for the Agile off-road rip kit for getting into Nicaragua.
We're about at the border. He's saying get on the sidewalk. Careful, careful. Good Lord.
This is it. This is a Central American border crossing. Holy cow. All right, we just went through the fumigation. Basically, their fumigator machine was broken, and there's a guy out there with kind of a thing that looked like a leaf blower with a water tank on it, and he sprayed the bottom half of the van down with some mysterious liquid. This is very different than any of the border crossings we've done before. Oh my gosh, the bridge.
That was nuts.
Wasn't that something?
Crazy, right?
All right, we've made it through fumigation. Now, I assume we're gonna get our passports stamped here. All right, it took just a little bit, but we got through immigration. Now we're gonna get our temporary import of the vans. It's the next step, it's the last step. Well, we made it through. It was a very hot border crossing. People were relatively friendly. They inspected our van pretty well. They wanted to look in everything. They asked about my camera equipment. They asked about drones. We do not have a drone with us. We shipped that through DHL to Costa Rica so we could avoid any hassles with drones in Nicaragua. I'm really glad we did that because they were very curious and insistent to ask if we had a drone on board. But they did want to inspect my camera gear, and I showed them my camera bag. They wanted to look at my biggest lens, see what it was like. They asked if I had a telescope. I was like, no, I don't have a telescope. What else? They kind of went through the cabinets and dug around, and they wanted me to open the drawers in the back and show them that. They also had an interest in what sporting equipment I had. And I told them, you know, rock climbing gear, kayaks, snorkeling gear, hiking gear. And they were all like, okay. And then we got some stamps stamped and we paid some fees. And then we were through. And now we're leaving the border. Oh, one stop. We stopped at a little restaurant outside of the border, just right there, and bought insurance from some women just sitting at one of the restaurant tables. It's the first time I bought insurance from a woman just sitting at a restaurant table nursing a baby. So that was kind of different. We're here, so I can say welcome to Nicaragua. We have made it. We are stoked. We're gonna be here probably about a week, and then we are on to Costa Rica. Let's go explore Nicaragua, see what it has to offer. It's gonna be fun.
We are rolling through Nicaragua right now, trying to find a camp, and we're actually racing against the darkness. We try really hard not to drive in the dark. In fact, we haven't since we crossed into Mexico 2.5 months ago. The sun is setting. We still have 30 minutes to go. So with any luck at all, we will be rolling into our camping spot before the sun completely drops and darkness falls. All right, bye.
Good morning, Nicaragua. It was a hot and steamy night last night. We rolled into this camp, if you want to say. I'm getting ready to show you where we're actually camped. Pretty late, and we didn't film. We almost broke our rule of not driving at night, but we rolled in here right at dusk and just by the wire. It had been an incredibly long day crossing borders, and we were really happy to pull in here. Let's take a look. Let me show you where we are. Okay, so last night we spent the night in front of this medical clinic, and they're generous enough to allow us to park here in the corner.
Pero es bonito, pura arena.
It's very pretty.
Very pretty. Sí, bonito.
Sí, hay un hotel ahí.
And this village has just been really wonderful, and we're so grateful these guys allowed us to park here in front of the hospital medical clinic. Check out the troopies. There's lots of troopies here used as ambulances. I think that's really what they're used for a lot. They're recommending that we head up to the volcano, which is just maybe 30-40 minutes from here, to try to find some cooler temperatures. They said it's really nice up there. So I think we're gonna go up there and check it out. We're here at our camp. This is Kalala's Lodge. We're getting ready to check it out and see if we want to stay here tonight. Oh boy, but look at this view. This is amazing. Flying saucer thing. Okay, this place looks really nice, but they wanted over $70 for us to stay here. And we've been camping for about $10, maybe $12 on the high end. And so this is US dollars. So we're going to keep trucking, keep going south and looking at some other options. All right, we've made it to the beautiful Laguna de Apoyo. This is a volcanic lake, meaning this is an ancient volcano that is now filled in and become a pretty sizable lake. Something that I didn't know about Nicaragua until I got here is that Nicaragua has some amazing lakes, some really huge lakes. And this one right here kind of lured us in because it was very warm today. And we kept looking for volcanoes that we could drive up. And there is a few, but they all seem to have maybe really rough roads, or you could drive just a little ways, but you couldn't get up maybe as high as we wanted to find the cooler temperatures. And so we kind of shifted gears and started looking for lakes. And this lake here was a godsend because we got here about 2 in the afternoon. It was very hot at that point, and we all just like instantly went for the water. It felt so good. I started feeling bad for these local dogs that are so skinny and so pitiful looking. Now, they are feral dogs. I don't think anybody owns them, but the dog population is just kind of out of control. We bought a big bag of dog food here just to give these guys a little touch up, make sure they're getting a little bit of food, at least as we pass by. So there's this cute little dog that just showed up. He's been kind of in and out of our little camp all day. I'm just going to give him some of this so he gets a little something to eat, at least for today. Oh man, he is just wolfing it up. As I was pouring it out, he dropped his head down. I poured half of it on his head. I don't think he cares one bit. This is a happy dog. Now, another thing that's really interesting here is we can hear howler monkeys going crazy right up here in the forest on the mountain above the lake. They are just howling their heads off, and that's really fun to hear as well. Nicaragua's beautiful, just like the rest of Central America. I think our biggest challenge for us is the time of year. It's really dry and it's really hot, and that's the thing we're struggling with. Being in a van is just finding a little bit of escape from the heat. We've been running our air conditioner at night, thanks to Winnebago for putting an air conditioner on the Revel. On my first Revel, I removed it, knowing I was going to Europe and cooler places. And I am 1000% sold on having the air conditioner if you're coming south of the border. Because we've got quite a few more months before we're going to get to where it's cooler. So I am glad to have it. Another thing is I wake up almost every morning wanting to kiss Aaron Sildikert from Rome Rig for the expanded batteries that I have in my Revel. And this is what gives me the ability to run my Revel air conditioner all night long. Now we do a few little tricks. We'll shut the bathroom door, we'll open the pantry door, and make kind of a little wall that separates off the bathroom. Now this just keeps that cold air right in the bedroom with us, and that really keeps it efficient in holding the cool air in. Because we don't need to cool the whole Revel. All we really need to cool is the bedroom. And it was so warm last night sleeping that when I got up in the middle of the night, I noticed as I moved those doors away and I went into the front part of the van, it was probably a 20-degree difference in how much warmer it was in the front of the van versus the back of the van. Thank you, Aaron, for making a great system to support people like us who really need some AC to keep functioning in very hot places. It's been a godsend, so thank you for that. So we're gonna camp here tonight at this lake. It's a beautiful spot. It seems like it's gonna be really quiet. There's hardly any traffic. There's just some locals coming down to swim. And I've been going swimming about every 20 to 30 minutes just to cool off. Right now, the sun has set. It's quite a bit nicer. Temperature is dropping, but I think it's still gonna be a hot night. And tomorrow, I think we are going to head towards Costa Rica. We're about 2.5 hours from the border. Costa Rica has higher mountains where we're gonna find temperatures in the 60s, maybe even the 50s at night for a low. We have skipped winter now for, gosh, almost 2 years, with a few little exceptions where we've gotten a little cold weather. But for the most part, we have been in warm places all last winter and most of this winter. And being in the heat this much down here in Central America, it's got me kind of thinking about winter. Like when this trip is over, I might want to do a real winter and get back to snowboarding and ice climbing and all those fun things, and just kind of embrace winter, because I feel like I haven't experienced winter in a long time. But that's why you come down to Central America, is usually to beat the cold and get a little warm tropical summertime, and that's what we've had. If you guys wouldn't mind, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. It really does help our channel grow, and we really do appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to take a deeper dive into Famagogo and our adventure, check out our Patreon. Link is right here. There's also one down below if you're on a computer. And these guys right here are our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot. We've got the howler monkeys and the tropical birds going crazy on the mountain right here. But that's it for now. Till next time, and I hope I see you somewhere over the horizon. Take care, guys.